Please join in Gasho. Namanobs, 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 namanobs. Okay. Is it?
I'm a bit rusty.
It's on. It's on.
Okay.
You just have to lower it down a bit.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see your faces, even though I can just only see your eyes. Anyways, welcome to the August Shotsuki. And we will start this morning's service with silent city meditation or mokuso. We will now have Shomyo recitation of Namu Amida Butsu. Pardon me? Oh, I thought we did have it. Sorry.
Namanobs, 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 namanobs.
Sorry, this isn't a comedy act. Okay, we will now have the Vandana and the Tisarana on page 325 of the pink or the purple Satan, followed by the Sambujo on page 89.
For those of you joining on Zoom, I have it up on the screen. Namandops, namandops, namandops. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. Dhamma Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Dharma for guidance. Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Sangha for guidance. No one knows, no one knows, no one knows.
We will now chant the Sambutske on page.
Sambujo.
Pardon me?
We'll do the Sambujo first.
Oh, okay. Sambujo on page 89, followed by the Sambutsuke on page 73.
No one knows, no one knows, no one knows, no one. Yo me ni no jo sa ni no 上 Om This morning, we have gathered in the quietude of Amita's temple to commemorate the August 2022 Shotsuki monthly memorial service, in which we remember all our loved ones who have passed on and been born in the Pure Land. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gasho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dharma. And may the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amita's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance.
Arima Kimiko, Joy Roy, Hamade Tobekichi, Hamagura Kazuo, Harada Kichi, Kumae, Hayashi Ichi, Hirose Ramsey, Yuta Mino, Ishida Ben, Iwata Roy Motomaru, Kaita Reki,
Ah, no, yo, oye, mi, again, that, then, yo, we, ah, yo, oye, yo, de, sa, ma,
課長、
じ、
あきこ。
あ、せ、よ、ぐ、よ、しが、さいが、さな、よ、し
片山石、
が、
木村和夫、小林義明、
さい、しど、じょぶ、にょぐ、ど、けんじょぐ、ぎゃ、いにょぐ、じゃ、しょ、どぜ、が、む、が、げ、む、じゅ、ど、しょ、え、しょ、ご、よ、せ、しょ、ち、え、し、な、りょ、りょ、が、ざ、ぶ、お、ぐ、ど、だ、み、よし、げ、みょう、ど、じょ、じょ、で、お、ぶ、よ、な、よ、に、ま、ど、
小柳ジョージ、
あ、み、
久保田敏子、
おなずいさい、じもな、いじょ、しね、よ、
前出弥吉、
のが、ご、
松下淳、三志哲三、
ぜが、
向井宇之助、中出総出、
にぎじょじょよ、じ、
中津加納助、
いえまげ、りょうりょうし、
中西隆春、
にが、じにょ、で、にょ、し、じ、どぐ、どぐちゅ、な、よ、
鳴上勝次郎、
い、いゆ、
西房江、西浜重春、
な、
西絹江、
な、
野村藤、
な、
小川時子、大原千代、
な、
岡部悟、
な、ぶ、な、
小倉美代子、大山世話、 Oya Yaza Emo
Yo
Lorimoto Hisashi
Sai
Sakai Kazuichi
Easy
Sakai
Oh Someone loves, someone loves, someone loves, someone loves.
Shioji Yaikichi Tabata Inao Takeshita Tamiya Tani Kazuo Tani wa Itsuko Masaka Masashi Terai Cheryl Teramura Yoshio Tomosada Kikue Toyoda Yoshiharu Tsumura Isao Wada Chikae Yamada Roy Hideo Yamamoto Iwakazu Yamamoto Jukichi Yamamoto Kazuo Yamamoto Kiyomi Su Yamamoto Mamoru Yamamoto Sadako Yamamoto Yasu Yoshida Tsurue Yukawa Masaru.
No one loves, no one loves, no one loves.
Now, Reverend Grant will give his Dharma talk.
First, I'd like to thank Hiroko for chairing today. It's been close to 3 years since we've had a live chairperson, so I know it's not been easy. So thank you very much. And I'd like to begin by reading a passage from Shinran Shonin's writing. Actually, this comes from what we call the larger sutra on Amida. And it is a completion passage of the 18th, what we call the 18th vow. All sentient beings, as they hear the name, realize even one thought moment of shinjin and joy, which is directed to them from Amida's sincere mind, and aspiring to be born in that land, they then attain birth and dwell in the stage of non-retrogression. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So once again, welcome everyone to our Shotsuki monthly memorial service. Just hang on a second. And once again, welcome everyone. Sorry, I have to also attend to the people that are on the Zoom as well. So I just make sure the screen was the correct screen for them. Welcome to those who are attending in person here. It's nice to see all of you here at the temple. And also to those who are unable to come or are at a distance, welcome to our service via Zoom as well. So this morning we are gathered here for this August Shotsuki monthly memorial service. And it is a time in which we remember and pay tribute to those who have passed on during the month of August. But it is also a time for us to come and listen to the teachings or the Dharma through our loved ones. They're giving us this opportunity. And today I'd like to share with you a little bit about what we call encounters. So my job as a minister in Japanese, my title is Kaikyo Shi. Kaikyo means to spread the teaching. And normally, often when they use the word shi, they will use teacher as the character. But in our particular denomination, Kaikyo Shi, shi is scout, means to be used. Okay, so I'm basically being used to spread the Dharma. Okay, not necessarily a teacher per se, but through experiences, through my various encounters in life, I share and try to spread the teachings. That's what a Kaikyo Shi minister is. Okay, and so I wanted to share with you three encounters that I've had recently that made me really reflect on the Dharma. And so the first one was a couple weeks ago, I was asked to go and conduct a memorial service for a person at the residence. This family lived in Burnaby. So when I got there, there was a young girl, she must have been in her 20s, I'm guessing, who was the girlfriend of the son of the person who we were holding a memorial service for. And after the service, she said that she'd actually watched some of my YouTube videos. And I was, to be honest, I was a little embarrassed. I mean, we do put it up there for people to watch. It's on our website. But when somebody actually tells you they've watched you on YouTube, it kind of takes you back a little, you know. And but what she said was very interesting because she said that from her family background, her family was Buddhist, and they were very dedicated Buddhists, not Japanese. But she said it always seemed that the Buddhism dwelled on death and you know, afterlife, et cetera, and that her family did a lot of chanting and a lot of rituals, etc., for the dead and afterlife, and it was kind of almost negative, is how she felt. But she said when she watched the YouTube videos, she said it seemed like our particular teaching talked more about life than death. And in fact, this was, in fact, the teachings of Shinran Shonin. I told her that according to our founder, Shinran Shonin, what he mentions is that, you know, the time of passing, when one comes to the time of passing, it is important only if you hadn't had the encounter with the Dharma before, and at the moment of death, you encounter a person that guides you to the teachings. But he said, for a true listener of the Dharma, what's important is the here and now, the daily life, in this moment. By receiving the teachings, by hearing the teachings, and rejoicing in the teachings now, we can live our life with gratitude. We can live our life with appreciation because we understand what is fundamentally important in life. So having this encounter with this young girl or woman I should say. Well, I was quite impressed by what she had to say. But anyways, the second encounter I wanted to mention to you. So as I've mentioned before, numerous occasions, that I'm part of what we call the English Jodo Shinshu correspondence course. And this is hosted, it is administered by the Overseas Jodo Shinshu office, International Overseas Jodo Shinshu office, which is located in Berkeley, California. And what it is they have a course, online course that you can take. And every month, the students receive texts, and they have to read these texts. And then at the end of the month, they have to submit an essay on whatever they've read. Actually, some of our members have actually taken this course. Elmer Morista is one of them. But and then once they submit their essays, then they have a group of, we're called instructors, but we're really readers or what we are. And so we read their essays and then we make commentaries on what they have written. So this past month for July, so right now I'm looking after 5 students. And so I read their essays, I make commentaries. And this one particular student's essay really struck a chord with me. And it was, the question was about how what we call receiving shinjin, entrusting heart, makes a difference in one's present life. And this individual, he actually lives, I believe, in England, and he's taking this course from England. So that's very interesting how we're all interconnected throughout the world. And we heard Kathy from Edmonton earlier saying how she's enjoying being able to join in. But this particular individual, he had actually been leading a very, very good life as far as materialistically. According to him, he said he was in a very privileged position, one of the top 1% of the society, if you will. But he said that in his life, he was feeling really empty inside and shallow inside. And he had read the teachings of the Buddha, and he said he cherished this book, The Teaching of the Buddha. I'm sure many of you have seen the orange covered book, Teaching of the Buddha. It's produced by an organization called the Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai, or the Buddha Dharma Foundation. And they tried to put it in hotels, sort of like the Gideon Bible. So you might have seen it in some hotels as well. But we actually hand them out as well here. If anybody's interested, just come and see me. We have copies. But he was reading it, particularly the Four Noble Truths. And in there, he was looking at the causation of suffering. And he realized that the root causation of suffering was our greed, anger, and ignorance. And he felt that he was filled with these things in him. And he kept, as he was reading, he said that the true joy in life was to be able to hear the name of the Buddha and rejoice at hearing the name and realizing the working of the Buddha. And then as you receive this, you begin to realize what is truly important in life is the oneness that exists, not the materialistic things, but in fact, the very presence of life itself. And so he actually changed his life completely, and he became very devout in the followings. And he says that he's found a peace, inner peace within himself. So this was the second encounter that I had recently about finding this inner peace, learning that here and now at this very instant is the most important. Now, the third encounter is much more personal to me. It's about Irish English immigrant who in the 1950s, this young man happened to step into a temple in Toronto on 918 Bathurst Street. It was the Toronto Buddhist Church at that time. And this young man was curious about what Buddhism was all about. He had not been raised as a Buddhist, obviously, but he entered the temple and he encountered a wonderful Dharma. So in the mid and late 1950s in Toronto, the Taikyoshi minister there was Reverend Kenryu Tsuji, who later went on to become the Bishop Socho of the Buddhist Church of America. Reverend Tsuji is probably one of the most dynamic ministers that we've had in our organization. But in the late 1950s, mid-late 1950s in Toronto, there was actually quite a Buddhist movement at the Toronto Temple. And there were people from all walks of life who joined the temple. And they actually even created a society called the Ashoka Society. And the Ashoka Society was predominantly young men. I don't know, well, I guess it was a sign of the times, but predominantly young men who really found interest in learning about Buddhism. And they actually produced publications from the Ashoka Society. And there were a number of non-Japanese Canadians who became quite prominent Buddhists. And this Irish English immigrant became one of those young individuals who joined this. He said after joining, one day he went to the basement of the temple, and there they were actually collating their monthly newsletter called The Guiding Light. And there was a young lady who was helping out collating that, and he was smitten by her. And then they ended up getting married. And for many years, for a number of years, while they were in Toronto, they were very strong members of the Toronto Temple. But then they moved away and they traveled to various places, but eventually settled here in Richmond. And this couple, well, they were in Victoria actually for a number of years. And then they came to Richmond here. And they had attended our temple once many, many years ago, but they felt something just didn't click with them. But the next time they came, it was one of my earlier years here in Stevenson. It just so happened at that service, I was mentioning dementia and how there was a doctor in Japan that was talking about how we prevent dementia or what kind of exercises we can do to prevent dementia. And it struck a chord with this couple because the day before, he said his wife was diagnosed with dementia. And so he felt that there was some kind of encounter here. And they became very close followers and good followers of our temple. And as some of you have guessed, this is Terry Beresford. And Terry, in the last several years, he actually moved back to Victoria after his wife passed away. His wife, June, passed away. And in the last couple of years, thanks to the Zoom, he's been able to join from Victoria our services on a regular basis. But yesterday, Terry passed away from cancer. And I had an opportunity to speak to him the day before he passed away. And he was at peace. And he actually thanked me for being a Dharma friend. And I thought to myself, this is what we call receiving the Dharma. It's not how we die, but how we live. And Terry was able to live to his final moments in gratitude to be able to say thank you. And I thought, what a wonderful way for us to be able to live. And this is what the Dharma provides, is that security in knowing no matter what happens, we are at peace. We are embraced in the Dharma. And even after we pass away, our loved ones continue to guide us. So today, for those of you who are here for the August memorial service, your loved ones are here guiding us again, making us realize, yes, it's not the materialistic wealth, it's what we have here right now at this moment, the togetherness that we share, the oneness that we share, to be able to appreciate life in each and every moment, and to be grateful for the Dharma, which embraces us to make us realize the oneness that we have. And so out of deep gratitude to all those who passed away during this month of August, and we put our hands together. And again, this is a gesture of coming together. We're not going apart, we're coming together. It's a gesture of oneness. So if I may ask at this time, please join me in Gasho as we recite the name of the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your Dharma talk. We will now have the Gotha Nembutsu on page 340. Please rise. Please sit down. Oh, okay, closing remarks. Thank you for coming. We have tea and Itoko's waving her tea towel. There's refreshments at the back, so please have a good visit with everybody. And if you want to stay apart, you can go outside. So enjoy yourself. Thank you for coming. Oh, next weekend, Reverend Ikuta will be away on the Vancouver Island Obon tour. I think there's a bus full of people going. And so there'll be no Sunday service. And on the 21st and the 28th, there'll be an informal summer service. And September 4th is a September memorial service. And September 17th and 18th is the BC Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples convention in Steveston. I guess is it in person?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so everybody's welcome to come. Be good to see people from all over BC. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to those who joined by Zoom.